Good morning, and thank you to the Tibia Quintet. We'll be hearing more of them later on today. To most of you in this room, I say good morning, and I hope you'll have a great day. To the graduates, I'll say, you did it. Good going. Right, some points of order. My name is Mikael Sundström, and I'll be sort of hiding in the shadows most of the time. My role is to just keep track of things, but I'll just make a few just brief comments about stuff you need to know about. When we have the actual presentations today, we are hoping that you can possibly restrain yourself when your particular guy or gal turns up here and they will be gathering in this corner. At that point, cheer away. It's just a matter of being able to hear about the various names. Cell phones off, please. And if you need to leave for whatever reason, you need to find it too warm or you need to leave for whatever reason, fine, just do it. This is not one of those occasions where you need to sit tight through the entire ceremony if you don't feel like it. So feel free to do that. And I've also noticed we have got a couple of some kids around the place. And I just want to make sure that parents and you kids know that you are just as welcome as everyone else. So if you give an extra whoop from time to time, we can probably survive that. So welcome to you guys too. Outline of the procedure. First of all, we will be hearing more from the Tibia Quintet. We'll have speeches, first of all, from the Pro-Dean. Then we'll have a commencement speaker. We have 2 student speakers. And then we have the actual presentation. After the presentation, the formal bit of the ceremony is over and done with. And we proceed down to the sort of reception area downstairs to get a light refreshment and some drinks. Also, the graduates will be getting a little souvenir. And when we thought about what we should have, we thought in terms of wine glasses perhaps. No. No. And then we thought maybe coffee cups. But we think coffee, you have probably drunk enough coffee for almost a lifetime completing this master. So we thought of something slightly more relaxing, so you'll be getting tea mugs instead. With that, I would like to introduce our Pro-Dean of the Faculty of the Social Sciences, Lena Eskild.
Dear master students and dear family members and friends to the master students, I welcome on behalf of the Faculty of Social Sciences to the graduation ceremony 2018. It's actually the last day we can call you master student. Very soon you will be master graduate with a diploma summarizing all the courses you have fulfilled and all the grades you have achieved during the last 2 years. We, the Faculty of Social Sciences, are happy that we can gather so many master students from our master programs at the same time in this fantastic building. It's fantastic to have students from 15 different master programs from both Lund and our departments at Campus Helsingborg gathering for a joint graduation ceremony. Dear master students, congratulations. It's your big day. You have all been working so hard during the last 2 years, and especially the last semester. I've seen many of you during the last weeks, both in Lund and in Helsingborg. You have all looked so concentrated and focused on your last examination, the master thesis. Today, you take your last official steps at Lund University, for now at least. And hopefully it will be a day full of excitement, relief, happiness, anticipation, but perhaps also some nostalgia and sadness. But enjoy, be proud of yourselves that you have completed the journey and celebrate with your families and friends. I will now pass on this place and microphone to our guest speaker, Pia Renqvist, the editor-in-chief of Sydsvenska Dagbladet. Thank you.
You are so many. Yes. Dear students, tutors, professors, friends and family, it's a great honor for me to stand in front of you. I graduated myself from this university in 1999. Yes, that was another millennium. I received at the time a very impressive title, Master of European Affairs. Yes. In my job, I meet a lot of dignitaries, but actually, I'm really nervous today. I don't think I've been this nervous since I met the world-famous football player from Malmö, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So, I am the first woman in 170 years to be editor-in-chief of one of Sweden's leading morning newspapers, Sydsvenskan. I'm also on the board of directors at publishing company Bonnier's newspaper group, which includes some other Swedish well-known newspapers, Dagens Nyheter and Expressen. And in addition to that, I hold some positions connected to my role as editor. So maybe you think I'm a bit like Zlatan and only want to talk about myself, preferably in third person as he does, but I won't. It's over. Because today is your day, graduates. I hope you feel really proud for what you have done here at Lund University. One of the best decisions I've ever made was to study here at Lund University, even if I was 25 years old when I started. And I guess some of you are even younger than that today and already graduated. Well done. But regardless of your age, remember that life is a marathon and not a sprint. There is plenty of time. I know it may sound presumptuous given the job that I have today, but one of the most important things I learned since I left the academic world is that mistakes are a part of life, and that's something that we all have to deal with. So you will all meet important, challenging, and life-changing experience will come your way. And even if you haven't planned them or even dreamed about them. Don't think that everything must happen overnight, and don't believe that everything can happen at the same time. Choose what's most important to you, focus on that, and never give up. But there is one choice that I'd really encourage you to make today. Don't switch off that curious learning part of your brain just because you have finished your studies. Your brains are in ship shape. They are ready to take in lots of new information and to process what you have learned. And that's a skill that you must value and nurse because it's going to serve you well in the future. My industry is in the forefront of digitalization. It has gone through enormous shifts in the past 10 to 15 years. Our reporters and photographers handle more complex assignments than ever before. And the ability to shift focus, use technology, and accept that change is a part of everyday life is more important than ever. Today, digitalization and the new way of life has made a real impact everywhere. On the public sector, banking, retail, well, in pretty much any industry where you may end up working. The ability to adapt and to learn new skills is invaluable. And here at Lund University, you have been trained at a very high level. Congratulations. And another important skill that you hopefully have refined here is the ability to listen. Otherwise, I'm training you just right now. I worked as investigative reporter for about 10 years, and I quickly learned that the best way to get people to talk is to be silent. Think about that next time you hear or see a good interview, how a skilled reporter remains quiet for so long time that the silence becomes uncomfortable. That's when the important information often comes out. Unfortunately, we don't see much of this in the public debate today. As a woman editor-in-chief, I receive a lot of hate emails and threats. But what scares me the most is the willfulness and unreasonableness I find among ordinary people. A well-known Swedish journalist published a book earlier this year, and the title, "I Don't Give a Damn, It's Fake, It's Still Outrageous," says a lot about this. You know, we often tell our children that people have 2 ears but only 1 mouth for a reason. From my perspective, that's something many of us have forgotten about. Perhaps I forget it myself sometimes, yes. But jokes aside, keep listening. Listen to each other. Listen to people with different opinions, to people who never went to university. Listen to youth and listen to the elderly. Listen even to your parents, actually, and to people who support a different team or vote for another party. And even listen to people who you think are stupid. Just keep listening. That's important. Related to the ability to listen is to think before you act and to always put things in a perspective. That's possibly more important now than ever. And that's something you all have the capacity for. Otherwise, I guess you wouldn't be here today, unless the requirements for passing exams have changed dramatically since I was a student. One of the most popular expressions of the past year is fake news. Unfortunately, I think the phrase is used rather arbitrary. I've heard several local politicians, probably a bit inspired by the American president, use the expression fake news when they don't agree with the journalistic investigation. But fake news actually means propaganda and should be dealt with as such. When I graduated, which was a very long time ago, as I just mentioned, established media had some sort of monopoly for reaching the masses with information. I'm not so naive as to say we did everything right, but we operated in a professional context, something we still do. We have judicial accountability, ethical codes of conduct, and a journalistic code of honor. And we take pride in our work. Similar systems exist around the globe. But as you all are aware, an information monopoly no longer exists. Internet has turned everything upside down, a real revolution, a giant leap forward for people to have their voices heard. At the same time, this comes with new enormous challenges, and that puts a heavy onus on us all. Political parties didn't pay for content masquerading as news articles in the 20th century. And so-called influencers didn't reach hundreds of thousands of people with their stories, which can of course be relevant and interesting, but they are not fact-checked as journalism is. And at that time, Facebook wasn't swarmed by texts of dubious origin and purpose. Thankfully, there are people like you who have sharp brains and are used to questioning content and information. All this, I think you have a duty to use in all contexts. Try to see through cheap tricks to play on your emotions. Think about what you read. Consider who is the author and who is behind the text, and think about the consequences. Keep thinking, in short. So, most of my work meetings nowadays take place in heavily male-dominated rooms. I'm grateful to see a different picture here today. Even when I was a student, us women outnumbered the male students. Women's domination in higher education continues to increase. And I'm not going to make this speech even longer and lecture about feminism, as I presume that's part of your education here at the university today. But there aren't many countries in the world that are better for women to live in than Sweden, and we've seen dramatic improvements only in the last generation. Still, you young women in the audience will face challenges that your male peers never have to face. Those of you who are going to work and live outside of Sweden will probably face even tougher challenges. So choose what's important to you and be brave enough to prioritize that. When my sons were younger, for example, I didn't have much time for anything but work and taking care of them. Today, that's a bit different. Maybe not much, but a bit. So, dear young women, act like your male peers, continue to believe in yourself, make noise, and don't bend over backwards to impress others. Last but not least, there are clear signs that our societies are becoming increasingly polarized. I mentioned earlier that gaps are widening and there is a lot of mistrust in our society. Groups of people are battled against each other. And to be honest, there are moments when I despair, when I'm saddened by the judging tone of voice, even in situations when I expect a lot more tolerance. Here I think you all have a duty in life, a responsibility that may not pay off in monetary terms or give you 100% backing from your peers. You belong to an elite, a small group of students graduating from a top-ranking university in Europe. You have a bright future ahead of you. Your peers in Europe and further afield face different sets of challenges. With a degree from the Faculty of Social Sciences, I believe that you have a bigger responsibility for what we call community, for what is us. Don't judge. Try to understand other people's situation and make sure you can look yourself in the mirror every morning. If you achieve that, not only will you feel better, but our world as a whole will be better too. So, the short version of this speech, or maybe the notes that you want to make, is 1. Nurture and use the learning part of your brain. 2. Keep listening. 3. Continue to put things in perspective. 4. Take responsibility for the we and the us. Thank you for listening. Good luck!
Thank you very much. We've heard 2 speeches thus far. We have 2 to go. And the 2 coming speakers actually represent you guys. They are your speakers. We have a process where we ask all the departments to come up with some suggestions. And then we face the difficult idea of trying to select 1 or 2 of them. That hard choice has fallen upon our Pro-Dean. And 2 speakers have been duly selected. I first call Miss Ivana Reed to the podium.
Hi. Dear Lund University representatives, Director of Studies, fellow graduates, friends, and families, which many have come and traveled a long way to be here with us today. Today we gather to celebrate the completion of a long and enriching journey in social science. By now, we all have probably heard the word congratulations several times, and the feeling of mission accomplished haven't gone away since we handed in our master thesis. We all have come a long way. We have developed professionally and personally, and we have achieved things that at the time seemed far and complex. I remember a little over 2 years ago, while I was still back in Dominican Republic, sitting in my desktop writing my personal statement to apply for a master program in strategic communications at Lund University. Lund University was my first and only option. If I'm going to study in Sweden, I said to myself, it has to be there. We all had our reasons behind why Sweden, why Lund. Nevertheless, we all have one interest in common: social science, where the human factor, finding meaning and understanding behaviors, is at the center of our work. Understanding the structure of human life requires unpredictability. And this is paradoxically why the elite failure of social science is in fact one of its greatest achievements. Because unpredictability does not imply inexplicability. Explanations are possible, and that's what we are trained to uncover. To explain the unpredictable, the intangible, the invisible threads that connect society and shapes our world. To look beyond established norms and challenge conventional ways to approach a phenomenon. But what does a master of science really represent? And most importantly, what can we do with it? I know this is a hard question, which I'm sure even our professors sometimes struggle to find the answer. And our parents have asked us several times, so what is that you're studying again? And what is that? The answer is complex, and it's subjected to one's view of reality, of this world that for many of us is socially constructed. So what does it represent? For me, it goes beyond the title itself. It's the sum of 2 years of shaping experiences inside and outside the classroom. In front of the Lund University main building, there's a big magnolia tree. When I arrived, the tree was full of green leaves. But as the months passed by, the several leaves started turning yellow until they fell off. The winter months were cold. The tree was still there, standing, covered in snow, standing through the rain and wind, until spring finally arrived, and the magnolia finally bloomed. Bright leaves and beautiful flowers covered the tree. We, as the magnolia, have also bloomed. We arrived to this campus with ideas, desires, and beliefs, and in the process, we lost our leaves to grow them brighter and stronger. This title represents learning, unlearning, and relearning. Alvin Toffler, an American writer, about communication revolution said, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot unlearn, learn, and relearn." Toffer wasn't suggesting that reading and writing would become unimportant. He was emphasizing that in times of rapid changes, in an uncertain future, the most valuable skill would be learning how to learn, rather than simply resetting a set of facts and procedures. It's not about Googling an answer or finding it in page 12 of the literature course. No, you have to construct it yourself, critically reflecting on the why behind of it. And as the magnolia, we have to be willing to embrace the winds of change. We have to accept that it's okay to lose control, to let go of our pre-established knowledge, and instead create knowledge ourselves. To lose our lives as much as needed and regrow them stronger once again. Our education process does not end today. In the contrary, it has barely started. Education has the power to transform the world as we see it. Unfortunately, despite it's a human right, 264 million children don't go to school. We have to be aware that we are privileged to be here today. And with that privilege also comes high responsibilities. We were given the opportunity not only to have access of higher quality education, but also to complete a master program from one of the top world best universities. And that's something we should never take for granted. This title also represents multiculturalism. One of the biggest assets Lund University have given me, us, is having the opportunity to learn in a global classroom, where not only one learns with the professors, but with the classmates. How hard can it be to work in a group with different people from different nationalities and backgrounds? I used to think, until we have our first group work. Then I realized the struggle was real. But we managed to successfully finish several projects and use our differences as classes from which we could see different approaches to a same situation. We slowly found how to reach common ground, to listen carefully, and value ideas that may contradict our previous conceptions about the world. In the process, we also built friendships that I'm sure would last a lifetime. The list goes on. This title also represents pushing the limits, realizing that we're more capable than what we thought. For most of us, it was the first time leaving our home countries, studying an academic program full in English, starting a new life, with a ton of questions and 0 friends. We even had a workshop on how to make friends in Sweden, but that's another story. Embracing a new culture and a different way of doing things, conducting a research and master thesis that forces us to deal with our strengths and weaknesses. Yet, here we are. Step by step, we made our way to the finish line. We pushed all the limits. We lift up all the bars. And we will continue doing so. The road to get here was not easy, and the roads that lies ahead are even harder. Finally, this title represents acquired knowledge with a sense of purpose. Lund University's slogan, "Prepare for both," presenting a lion with a book and a sword. Although the university was founded 350 years ago, I think the metaphor is still valid today. And there are still many challenges that we'll have to fight with our sword of knowledge and competences, with the skills that we have acquired through the process of becoming masters of science. We have to fight becoming average and instead dare to achieve great things. We have to fight hesitation and start now with that project that we always wanted to develop or applying to that dream job. Don't hesitate on taking chances, even if that means making mistakes or taking wrong turns, because sometimes that is actually what leads to the right destination. We have to fight ignorance, fight disinformation, fight established norms, fight the habits that don't allow us to move forward. We have to fight for a world that is more equal, fairer, and opener. And we can do that using our knowledge as a powerful sword. Coming from a developing country myself, I know that education is the key to transform societies. Now that we are masters of science, what can we do with it? we continue moving forward, embracing the process of learning, unlearning, and relearning. We use this strong cultural awareness to open new horizons, explore other opportunities, and stay connected with this valuable global network that we have built. We constantly push our limits, bringing out the best in us. We use our knowledge with a purpose, acknowledging that many people are looking up to us, that we are a tiny but important piece of the Lund University history. We have bloomed, we have fought, we have grown, we have overcome obstacles, and we have achieved many successes. Now, the possibilities are endless, and it's up to us to decide what's next. In my personal statement to apply for the master program in Lund University, I wrote many things on why Lund, why Sweden, yet with a very inductive approach. I still have similar dreams and goals, but little did I know that it was going to be much more, and that the only way to answer those questions were actually now looking back and uncovering the real meaning of it all. An unpredictable journey that now, as true masters of science, we can understand and explain. Once again, congratulations to all of us. We made it.
Thank you very much, Ivana. And she represented strategic communication. And unless I'm misinformed, you were also given the honorary title just recently, of Global Swede. The Global Swede title is a national one. It comes with a lot of obligations, and you're supposed to be our ambassador, and no money, sorry. Next one up, student address number 2, is Ms. Emily Castillo, representing Social Studies of Gender.
Welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Dear teachers, university staff, friends and family that have come from maybe far away to celebrate this important moment in the life of your loved ones. Gracias a mi familia por estar aquí, Coco, Oso y mi amado Ahmad. And above all, dear all fellow graduates, well done all of you brilliant students who are here today. After 2 years of passionate work, a million of ficas, and an overdose of vitamin D pills, we finally made it to this day, our graduation. Whether you are all done or still have a bit to go, this graduation is for all of us. I was nominated to give this speech, and at the beginning I was like, no way, Jose. But then I thought, the person who nominated me must like regular students with a funny English and a tendency to say weird and inappropriate stuff. So I should embrace this opportunity. I should begin. That was cool. I should begin by saying that studying a master's is a good way to realize that there is so much you don't know, and that learning is also to unlearn things you thought you knew. You also discover that you can learn not only from your teachers, but from the long, fun, and sometimes challenging conversations with your friends, with whom quite often we will get lost in translations. The multiplicity of language like Spanish, Swedish, Italian, Albanian, Turkish, Finnish, Russian, Danish, Serbian, Icelandic, and so on has enriched us. This diversity, instead of being a limitation, has prompted the creation of new and bizarre ways of communication and unique relations between us. Being in an international program has taught me how amazing it is to be among students from different countries and regions of the world, bringing different knowledges, experiences, and beautifully strange habits and traditions. These are the kind of connections that give a deeper meaning to our time spent in Lund. I came here with a scholarship. I'm extremely grateful and acknowledge the privilege this opportunity represents. It would have been impossible for me to come without it, just like the other 17,000 students who applied. Most of them didn't get it, and for many of them, this meant not being able to come to Sweden. I'm sure many of them were brilliant and capable candidates with much to contribute to Swedish academia. I joined the critical voices that have problematized how university fees contribute to homogenizing academia by privileging mostly certain groups. Multiple voices are needed for diverse and complex knowledge production. Because I'm thinking, do we really want to live in a world where some knowledges are valued more than others while silencing other worldviews? I don't think so. These 2 years have meant for me a process of reinvention of myself. I don't really know what made it possible for me to access instances of myself that remained hidden before. I felt more in control of my thoughts and actions. Maybe you have also felt this. But as any process of self-discovery, it has been a painful and difficult moment sometimes. I have been very harsh with my old habits and destructive ideas. But I'm grateful for the pain and difficult moments because they have taught me that the most important thing about ourselves is the capacity to care for others, both human and non-human. Caring for others is a radical act in a world where individualistic, hedonistic, and neoliberal ideologies permeate every aspect of our existence. My hope is for all of us, social scientists, working in our areas of expertise, that we can prioritize dismantling these corrosive ideas and build a world where multi-species can, as Donna Haraway put it, co-flourish together, and where becoming with is a practice of becoming worldly. Whatever mystical or unfortunate circumstances led you down the path of social sciences, you know that it is charged with a deep commitment to social justice and more often than not, a small paycheck. In a way, we are all connected in a personal level. We share the passion and concern for the well-being of the world. Although we might not always agree on how to make it happen, we are at the front of change. This is possible in part thanks to the commitment and example of our teachers. Dear teachers, thank you for all the hours you have spent in preparing and delivering your lectures. You should know that one of the reasons we apply to certain programs is for the teachers working in each department. As a teacher myself, I know the huge responsibility that is entering a class where a group of students sits in front of you full of expectations and questions. I also know the feeling of not wanting to disappoint your students. I am convinced that as long as there is excitement in teaching, the students will respond with joy in learning. Do not forget, teachers, that as Bell Hook mentioned, the classroom remains the most radical space of possibility in academia. Okay, now let's stop talking about teachers and classrooms and academia and all the sometimes impossible to navigate institutional rules. Dear fellow graduates, so now what? These might be the questions in everyone's minds. After 2 years or a more or less structured plan, finishing the masters and not going crazy in winter, we find ourselves again with an empty sensation in our stomachs, like we are falling and are not sure where we will land. But let's face it and embrace it. As a wise friend said, life is problematic. Life will not always have a structure and safe plan, and maybe it shouldn't. The nicest part is that it opens up the possibility to think about different possibilities. Be creative and live a little. I don't want to repeat all the cliches of graduation like success and change the world and you are the future and this is the first day of the rest of your lives and so on and so on. I rather encourage you to be critical about the discourses of success and happiness that are budgets in marketing campaigns. For instance, those that link success with wealth and status. Likewise, even if you ended up in a stereotypical 9-to-5 office job, there is always the possibility of creating alternative spaces in our lives as a way out, or in between. To finalize, I would like to remind you that this might be the last time that we're all together in this same room. So look at the people around you and give them a big and awkward smile. The goal of finishing the master that we all shared before is gone. Our friendship will evolve according to our new circumstances. We will miss each other. We will think about each other with almost gratitude and maybe nostalgia. I will cry for you, Mafitos, because I love you, because you're family. Congratulations to all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are slowly moving towards the main event. Before we are quite there, we'll have some thesis prizes to hand out. I ask, first of all, Richard Ek to come up and talk about these things. Welcome up to the podium.
Hello, everyone. Do you hear me? I'm so unused to this. On the behalf of the Department of Service Management and Service Studies and the Department of Strategic Communication, I would like to welcome the CEO of Sparbanksstiftelsen Skåne, Sanne Mårtensson, to announce our Thesis Prize winners.
Thank you very much. And thank you all for letting us share this moment with you. And excellent speeches. I will tell you this is one of the best days at work, listening to the speeches and taking part of, of your graduation ceremonies. My name is Sanne Mårtensson, and I represent the Savings Foundation of Skåne. And as a foundation with ownership in Swedbank, our main objective is actually to support the development in society by giving financial aid mostly to non-profit projects and organizations, as well as supporting the educational sector. This is achieved by our long-term support to the University of Lund and by granting scholarships to students. And what better way is there than to support the future than to give out these scholarships? And today we will award 2 students with scholarships for their master thesis, one in strategic communication and one in service management. The scholarship for the best master thesis in strategic communication will be awarded Stella Simpfer. This is your moment. In this extremely well-written master thesis, the student has mastered the complex theory, actor network theory, to analyze startups' branding. It leads to interesting conclusions that enrich our understanding of the challenge of branding for startups. And Stella, your master thesis, Startup Branding in Practice, Unpacking the Black Box of Corporate Branding, will award you this scholarship, and we wish you the best of luck.
Well done. Yeah, you have to sit down.
The scholarship for master thesis in service management will be awarded Andres Rios Lam. And Andres, yes, it's a day for this, actually, it is. This is an excellent master thesis on the topic addressing electronic marketplaces in highly relevant and important to both theory and practice, as this area is in strong growth and development, but research is still lacking largely. The thesis refers to previous research, contributing further to the theoretical field by presentation of an exploratory study based on grounded theory. The methodology is well elucidated and the results are presented well in a well-written and logically structured manner. The results of the exploratory study are discussed in light of previous research and point to relevant research as well as managerial implications. And the award goes to Andres Rios Lam for his master thesis, Exploring the Use of Freight Exchange E-Marketplaces in Sweden, the Perspective of the Transport Service Provider. Congratulations. And a good luck to all of you.
Thank you. I now ask Andreas Malm to come up to the podium.
This dress is a maladaptation to global warming. I'm going to hand out the best thesis in human ecology. It's a newly instituted prize awarded to an essay that critically probes some of the challenges of reining in business as usual and preventing further environmental catastrophes, offers original insights into the power relations that structure human interaction with the rest of nature, sheds unexpected light on some aspect of the struggle for sustainability, and/or illuminates some dimension of culture as a force for or against ecological sanity, in the past or the present, through rigorous, empirically grounded, cutting-edge research and deployment of the transdisciplinary analytical perspectives that define the field of human ecology. This year, we have decided to give this award to two theses, whose authors will then share the honor of being its first recipients. One is a thesis written by Mariko Takkodemi Karlsson entitled Selling the Green Dream to Women, Socio-Environmental Degradation and the Paradox of Feminism and Sustainability in Fashion Marketing. A stunningly sophisticated analysis based on wide-ranging and multifaceted research of how textile corporations use the jargon of eco-friendliness and female empowerment to hide and perpetuate a sordid reality of exploitation of factory workers and overconsumption of natural resources. The other is a thesis written by Amr Ahmed entitled Orban and Empire, an environmental history of Bedouin communities' resistance against the French colonization attempt in Egypt, 1798 to 1801, a most remarkable reconstruction based on primary sources of a crucial moment in the encounter between aggressively imperialist Europe and the peoples of the Middle East, showing how subalterns can use their proximity to wild nature as a strategic asset in the struggle for liberation. So I call Mariko and Amr to come to the stage.
Thank you very much. Well done. Thank you for that. I have to correct my esteemed colleague. This is not a dress. It's called a talar, but it is very warm. I had a colleague actually last year who suggested that we should use them as kilts if it was too warm, but I said no. Right, now on to the main event, and first of all, I ask Program Director Åse Ines Kärap to discuss, or rather to help you graduate and give diplomas to Master of Science in Psychology.
I'm usually not speechless, but this makes me a little bit nervous, teacher as I am. My wonderful master students, I love you. Let me start out calling up Montserrat Arnaiz, Ogeshi Emel, Emeshe Gostom, Katja Gurin, and Alida Hammers.
Right, Åsa, come along. You're doing the handshake as well.
And the next batch, Mary Jankova, Dan Johnson, Hannah Lettman, is she here? No. Alice O'Donnell, Evelyn Oteipoku, Jan Renfort, and Sarah Waltz.
Thank you very much. Next up is the Master of Science in Sociology of Law, European Law. Program Representative Reza Banakar, could I ask you to come up? Thank you.
Thank you. It's a very special occasion for me because although a program in Sociology of Law has been going on for many years, it's been online. About two years ago, we transformed our online program and turned it on campus program. And the group of graduates you're going to see today, they are the first group of on-campus graduates. The first group I have the pleasure to call on are Maja Tolstrup-Bach, Hanna Benecke, Oskar Björkenfeldt, Janine Marie Björklund-Chili, Hannah Bowring, Madeleine Collin, and Andrea Falk. The second group, Nadine Flatt, Albulena Ibishi, Sadat Pirzadeh, Sarah Scott Ford, and Sokol Jaju.
Next up is the Master of Science in Sociology, today represented by Maria Löfgren Martinsson.
I call Daniel Karlsson. Helena Elofsson och Hanna Levin.
Thank you very much. Next up is the Master of Science in Media and Communication, Program Director Annette Hill.
It's my honor to call out the names of the amazing media and communication students. I'm so incredibly proud of you all. And first up, I'm going to call Gabrielle Delisanti, Bafrin Eskandari, Alicia Gant, Lestarini Habsoro, Magnus Andersson, Magnus Johansson, and Antone Lemma.
No problem.
And now I'm going to call Deborah Martini, Alicia Milzarek, Christina Orban, Hario Priambodo, and Christine Sandal. And finally, I call Austin Shilstone, Stephen Stanford, Axel Wikström, Guangmin Wu, Libin Yao, and Jonathan Zaccarini.
Thank you very much. Now it's time for the Master of Science in Human Ecology, Program Director Andreas Malm. In his dress.
It's getting hotter. I call on the comrades of CPS, Victoria Kulikova, Sean Mitchell, Daria Rivin, you can come up, Niklas Sjöbäck Jörgensen, Mariko Takadumi Karlsson, Tove Tansjö, Amer Ahmed, Valentina Bertoli, Rebecca Blomberg, Ilaria Dimeo, Rachel Elfont, Tees Hoft, and Kaylee Johnson.
Jag ska bara kolla. At this point, it's time for the Master of Science in Human Geography, Program Director Anders Lund Hansen.
Okay, I would like to ask all the excellent students from Human Geography to come to the stage. And we have first Lea Christensen, Aldo Javar Gil Perez, Carl Helgeson, Aske Jarvard Raskov, and David Steinbauer.
Thank you. Time's up for the Master of Science in Service Management. Program Director Richard Ek.
It is my true pleasure and privilege to announce to call up the formidable master students to the stage. Alina Bott, Susan Bus, Cecilia Davigård, Eloise Duo, Alia El Farai, Heather Hawthorne, and Sebastian Hoffman. Erikas Kaslavukas, Minimari Kivenumi, Sydney Shekay Leong, Ines Martins, Magnus Olsson, Andreas Rios och Cynthia Salkovic. Finally, Marti Solé, Mengnan Sun, Essi Balaya, Tamara Wiedemeyer, Patrick Wong och Karolina Selewska.
Thank you very much. While the students are filing out, I would like to call up to the stage Program Director Maria Löfgren Martinsson for the Master of Science in Human Resources.
I would like to proudly, very proudly, present the Masters of Human Resources, Olivia Josefsson, Erik Karlsson, Sandra Lundgren, Carolina Möller, Axel Stigmar och Tiffany Wirsén.
Thank you. Time for Master of Science in Strategic Communication. Program Director Åsa Tillander.
I'm very proud and honored to present the new Masters of Strategic Communication. And it is Suvi Alatalu, Carolina Atsalis, Clara Bartlett, Gui Huan Chen, Marianne Fecht, Leonie Greife, Malin Gärdeman och Fanha Trang. And now I would like to call Mattias Hallén, Jasmine Husela, Anna Jimenez, Isabel Karlsson, Wenny Meyer, Vanja Mustafa, Anders Palmqvist, Tatjana Poskovina. And finally, I would like to call Sherja Kaiser, Ivana Reed, Jesper Rosell, Emma Rönngren, Anna Sjögren, Angelos Vasselöj, Malodieka Vibauer och Stella Simp.
Thank you very much. At this point, while the students are filing out, we have the Master of Science in Social Studies of Gender, Program Director Marta Kolankiewicz.
So it has been my pleasure and a real privilege for the last 2 years to teach and learn from fantastic students of Master in Social Studies of Gender. And now it's a pleasure to call here Linnea Adolfsson, Alexei Blochin, Sora Bodelsson, Giovanna Bruno, Emily Castillo, Gemma Demet. And then Arlette Garduño, Ella Genishi, Amalie Höjlandskog, Sara Silminen, Sinen Secil, and Hanna Sörbom.
Are you keeping track? This is number what out of 15? Coming up is program number 11, Master of Science in Development Studies, Program Director Karin Sten.
It is my honor to call the names of these excellent and magnificent Masters of Development Studies. Leila Becharnia, Giulietta Fifa, Hirotaka Koike, Teresa Kresse, and Cassandra Magnon. Denisa Moskova, Teresa Ogionvo, Mubarak Kasim Rabiu, and Edgar Habasonda.
At this point, it's time for Master of Science in Global Studies, Program Director Annika Bergman-Rosamond.
It's my true pleasure to congratulate the students. I've been teaching for the past couple of years on the program in Global Studies, and I call Lisa Kirschbaum, Ida Mårtensson, Marcus Ranker, Nino Vadachkoria, and Saper Sarikaya. And I'd like to call Julia Aldrian, Dorothea Bremer, Francesca Böhm, Susan Shibli, and Iman Khan.
Thank you very much, and I'll give you an extra whoop whoop for graduate school. At this point, time for the Master of Science in European Affairs, Program Director Richard Bengtsson.
It's a great honor for me to stand here and introduce to you the new Masters of European Affairs. Please welcome Jana Bendel, Verena Füller, Cecil Nibat, Tim Nybrook, Ludwig Rystad, and Katarina Schacke.
Thank you. And now for the penultimate presentation, which is the Master of Science in Political Science, Program Director Jakob Gustafsson.
So, our fantastic graduates from the Master's Program in Political Science this year is Louise Andis Heljedal, Misha Desai, Emily Lekebjer, Linnea Nilsson, and Tina Sayadi.
Last but not least, it's time for the Master of Science in Welfare Policies and Management, Program Director Moira Nelson.
I'm very honored to present to you the new Masters in Welfare Policies and Management. I first call Ksenia Adamska, Kasper Alstrup Schnell, Victoria Binot, Julia De Stefano, Natia Gamkrelice, Erika Haxi, Sarah Jensen, Marlene Johansson. I would now like to call Nera Konirovic, Song Ho Lee, Philip Lidegran, Leroy Mapulanga, Andreas Novak, Salver Samundsdotter, Amanda Bidborg.
Thank you very much. And that actually concludes the presentations. Just one more thing to go. A great big cheer. Come on. Come on. You did it. Thank you very much. I ask our Pro-Dean to conclude the proceedings.
I will now wrap up the ceremony. We are very grateful to you and your families who supported your decision to come to Lund University and the Faculty of Social Sciences for your studies. And we would be very happy if you want to stay in our network. Many former Lund University students have went on to make an impact and contribute to a brighter future after their studies. And you're always very welcome back to Lund University in any kind of role as guest teachers, doctoral students, or future research partners. It is an important but also moving moment for us to say goodbye. We wish you very good luck in the world. But remember, your deeds are not concluded. This is only the beginning. And through your education, you have gained the tools to exert influence and change things for the better, if you choose to do so. So get out into life and use your knowledge as a pathfinder. My final words to you, please remember 3 things. First, please continue to always raise critical and important questions. 2, stay in our networks. And finally, don't forget to celebrate. Now it's time to move downstairs, down the stairs to the right, where there will be some snacks and refreshments. And you need to bring your tickets to get that. And I hope you don't forget, as a memory of us, don't forget to grab one of those specially designed mugs on your way out of the building. Thank you very much.
försprång.